Want to speak real Spanish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at SpanishPod101.com.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hello, my name is Brenda Romaniello and I'm your Spanish teacher. Today we're going to have a look at some common adverbs of frequency to talk about daily routines in Spanish. We're going to start with some vocabulary, ¿sí? Vocabulario para adverbios de frecuencia. So we're going to have a look at some adverbs of frequency that we can use in Spanish to talk about the frequency with which we do things, activities, everyday activities in Spanish. ¿Estás listo? Are you ready? Let's get to it. So the first one that we have here, and I want you to repeat after me so that we practice pronunciation, is todos los días. Todos los días. Todos los días. So that means every day. Yes, every day or every single day. Todos los días. And as you can see in terms of frequency, yes, we can see that we do it every day, all the time, okay? So that's why it is the most frequent of the adverbs that we're going to have a look into today. Let's have a look at the next one. Normalmente. 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 And that means usually. Yes, usually, normally. And as you can see, it's less often than todos los días, but it's still pretty high. It's still pretty frequent when we do this activity. Normalmente. The next one is a menudo. A menudo. A menudo. See, as you can see here, there's two words here, okay? So this is separated, a menudo. But pay attention that when we say it in Spanish, it's going to sound like one word. And that's because we have this vowel here, and then we start with an M, which is a consonant. So this will very likely sound more like a menudo. A menudo. Okay, but there's two words here. And that means often. A menudo, often. And you can see it's slightly less often than normalmente and todos los días, but it's still pretty good, let's say, frequency. It's still pretty out there. We still do it pretty often. Yes, a menudo, a menudo. The next one, a veces. A veces. A veces. And a veces significa, it means sometimes. Yes, sometimes. And again, we have there's a space in between these two letters, these two words, a veces, but when we say it in Spanish very quickly, we'll say a veces, a veces. And as you can see here, we are not doing it. It's probably less than 50% of the time. In terms of frequency, it'll be 50%, less than 50% of the time. Yeah, sometimes. The next one is rara vez. Rara vez. I know we have this R sound at the beginning. Just try to pronounce it. If you're not very comfortable with rolling your R's, it's okay. The more that you practice, even the harder that you try, we Spanish speakers will understand that you're trying to make this sound. Rara vez. Rara vez. And that means seldom, not very often, rarely. Okay? Rara vez. And as you can see, the frequency for this one is not often, okay? It's rarely or seldom. And the last one that we want to have a look into today is nunca. 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 Nunca significa never, and it's something, the frequency, it's basically not there. We never do this, okay? So the frequency is 0% of the times, okay? Muy bien, vamos a repetir. Todos los días, normalmente, a menudo, a veces, rara vez, nunca. Perfecto. Now let's have a look at some dialogues. Yes, we're gonna have, for example, two neighbors are talking, yes, and they have this conversation. ¿Desayunas? ¿Desayunas? Sí, pero nunca cocino. Sí, pero nunca cocino. ¿Desayunas? Sí, pero nunca cocino. So, do you eat breakfast? Yes, but I never cook. As you can see here, we say sí, pero nunca cocino. Nunca cocino. I never cook. Okay, you can see there the adverb of frequency in this particular example, okay, in this dialogue. Talking about examples, let's go and have a look at some more examples of when we can put into practice these adverbs of frequency in Spanish. Let's have a look at the following example. Normalmente bebo café. Normalmente bebo café. I usually drink coffee. Normalmente, see, we said how often is that? It's pretty often, okay? Normalmente, I usually drink coffee. La siguiente, the next one. A menudo veo televisión. Veo. A menudo veo televisión. I often watch television. Okay? A menudo. How often is a menudo? Let's have a look at our chart again. It's pretty often. Yes, it's often. I often watch television. And the last one, the last example that we have here. A veces escucho música. Escucho. A veces escucho música. A veces. A veces. So I sometimes listen to music. I sometimes listen to music. Muy bien. Perfecto. Very good job. So let's have a look at what structure we're using here. As you can see, we have the adverb of frequency first, and then we're going to have the verb or the phrase that we want to, the daily activity that we want to describe. Okay, so our daily habits. Bebo café, veo televisión, escucho música. So the structure is going to be the adverb of frequency plus the verb phrase. Okay, so first we put the adverb of frequency here. So for example, if we want to say, here we are saying normalmente bebo café. Sí, normalmente bebo café. I usually drink coffee. How would you say, I never drink coffee? I never drink coffee. Well, as you can see here, we say, I never cook. We say, nunca cocino. So here, instead of saying normalmente, we would say, nunca. Nunca bebo café. I never drink coffee. And so on and so forth. So you have the daily habits or activities here, and then you can change the adverb of frequency, the Spanish adverb of frequency, to change or to describe the frequency with which you do these activities. Do you remember how to say I cook in Spanish? Cocino. Cocino. And do you remember how to say never in Spanish? Nunca. Nunca. And how do you say I never cook in Spanish? Nunca cocino. Nunca cocino. Do you remember how to say usually in Spanish? Normalmente. Normalmente. Do you remember how to say often in Spanish? A menudo. A menudo. Do you remember how to say sometimes in Spanish? A veces. A veces. Do you remember how to say rarely in Spanish or seldom? Rara vez. Rara vez. Muy buen trabajo. Very good job. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching this lesson and I will see you in the next one. Nos vemos en la próxima clase. I will see you next class. Adiós.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.